So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Okay.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people.
Jeez.
Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Gosh, man.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
That's right. Tom's the bartender. I forgot about that. Yeah, right? They do a very good job with the dialogue. Overall, the story is pretty solid. They have good voice actors. Yeah, this is a high quality production. Much higher than I was expecting initially when I heard about the game. Because first of all, I didn't realize it was by DONTNOD, so I didn't realize they had the writing and directing and everything props from stuff like Life is Strange, right? But also, I just thought it was just another like an interesting, different take on vampire stuff. I didn't realize it was this high quality production. So, yeah, did a good job. And he is healthy. Okay, all right.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
And I mean that sincerely. I don't wish you to. I wouldn't suggest that you go out on your own. I wouldn't want you to go out on your own, but if you're going to, I do hope you are successful and don't get yourself killed. Hey,
Damn it.
fatigue boy.
Drink no longer stirs me.
So few clients. But with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
I hope I live long
Good
enough
evening,
to
sir.
see them
Whatever.
boys get-
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Sounds like a solid 3 squares a day.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
I don't know how. I would say it. I would guess it doesn't compare really at all in terms of storyline and ambiance and stuff like that. But from my understanding, writing, quality of dialogue, quality of acting, and stuff like that probably are roughly on par, maybe even better in the Life is Strange games. I haven't played those yet, but I don't know if Faux Fox or Silhouette or Somni have played it. Patak has played it, and he loves Life is Strange. I think Somni's played it. Both Life is Strange and then Life is Strange 2. I think she played both. Can't remember now. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly, so joyful.
Really?
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it, and now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is, I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Jeez, dude. That sucks. Second one never happened.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
No reason at all.
Let me tell you.
Another time.
Well, this keeps showing up as white, but I've chosen everything, I think. Okay, whatever. That's life in London, yeah, so personal.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young, like everybody else.
Sure, I wanted things to change. To really change, and to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reid.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Okay. That's all of these.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me, then?
About the sad saint.
Tom Watts, I know.
I'll try asking Tom Watts about him.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Alright, so he's good. How are you, health-wise? You're good, he's good. Alright, let's see if she's anything else to say
Shut
first.
the
Really
Turquoise
fast.
for a
He
time.
didn't deserve this.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
Wasn't expecting a branch there. Okay, so let me think. This could partially be a branch because of the upper left. Why not go then? Because if we convince her to leave the borough, that would somewhat contribute somewhat to destabilizing it, I think, right? Although Sean Hampton, the priest, the sad saint, seems like he's the pillar of the community, you still have what seem like some important characters. I don't know about Sabrina on her own or Tom Watts on his own, but I think the pair of them together with this establishment kind of help hold things together as well. So I think if you tell her to leave, or if you were to embrace him or something like that, I think it would destabilize the borough fairly quickly, most likely. Because the only real power in the borough seems to be the Wet Boot Boys. And then you have Sean Hampton, the priest, now a vampire priest, I guess, who wields some power in terms of influence, verbal influence over people to, try to lead them to God or whatever. Although if he's a vampire at this point, I don't know what he would still be preaching. Maybe he still preaches that. I don't know. And then you have this pub right here, which is like neutral ground, neutral territory, right? More or less, anyway. So you have like these three they're not all power, but more or less, for lack of a more convenient term, these three like power centers. And I think if you do much to any of them, you're going to destabilize the borough. Now, potentially, if you were to somehow damage the Wet Boot Boys, that might actually improve things. Maybe. But maybe not. Because although the Wet Boot Boys are scoundrels, and they're violent and they hurt the local citizens, two things. One, I think their presence here stops the guards of Prewin, or however you say it. Prewin, I guess, is what Reid always says. Anyway, helps keep the guards of Prewin at bay, so they don't really get into this area so much. That might be a thing. And then also, their presence here might help stop... Okay, we get it. Their presence here might help keep the vampire population down as well, although obviously it didn't work with Father Hampton, but we were too late when we got there. So, I think probably not this one. I don't know if this is really going to help for stuff in here. No one feels safe. See, I can't really tell what the consequence of either of these choices is going to be. I kind of know this one anyway because of the Wet Boot Boys, right? I'm going to do this one. Maybe my courage can give them courage is my thought. Although I have no idea where this is going to end up, right?
I have nothing to fear from the people round here, miss.
Yeah, I'm a brave woman myself, Dr. Reid, but I'd be a fool to think I'm invincible.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Because she's safe. She doesn't ever go home because she's safer here than at home. Maybe she does stay here. There are rooms upstairs. Maybe he gave her a room to stay in so she could always be safe here. I don't know.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Yeah, about that. Okay. That was life in London, right? Okay. So, personal questions.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
What? No, your accent. You seem to have a slightly different accent, more like what is that called? Her complexion? What the frick? No. What is it? It's Cockney. She has more of like a Cockney heavy accent. I mean, there are occasional people, but most of the people in the area don't have a Cockney accent. It's I don't know my areas of London, South London, whatever it is. It's an area, it's like a side of London that has more of the accent most of the people have, but Cockney is different. She has like definitely more of a Cockney accent.
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. Not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it, neither.
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Does Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
So he's just worried about the mockery from peers. That sucks. That shouldn't be the kind of thing that stands in the way of love, unfortunately. But I obviously understand people being reserved
Miss
because
Cavendish,
of that.
would you be willing to help me locate Sean Hampton?
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me directly?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir. Only Tom can decide who to speak to and what he'll say to them.
Oh. South of the Thames, not a lot, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think Surrey might have been what I was thinking. I don't really know if I don't think I know an Essex accent. And you're healthy, right? Yeah, okay. So we'll leave you alone. Thank you, Miss Cavendish.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
She seems like a really cool lady. I don't know why anybody would have a problem with her. She seems super nice, too.
For a time.
A little nervous, maybe, but super nice.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reid, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
You're healthy too, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, especially given this is neutral ground. If he or Sabrina, especially now that we know that they love each other, if he or Sabrina disappeared, that would be disastrous, I think, for the neighborhood.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
I mean, he's definitely stronger now, can handle himself in front of the gangs.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's... So, this is what I think is going on as far as that goes, okay? So just really brief pause here. So, Sabrina obviously is from, descent from India ethnicity, right? Her dad was from Bombay, he was a sailor, married mom here, and so they stayed in England. They stayed in London, right? So she's the child, so she's half Indian, half English woman, or whatever, however you say that, right? Okay, so that's her ethnicity. Because she's half Indian, there are, especially because this is like late 19th century, so there are people who are racist. Even today, right? Obviously. So it sucks. I shouldn't be able to say obviously, but unfortunately, obviously. Anyway, so back then there were racists also, right? And racism was a lot more prevalent back then. There were these ideas floating around about, like, superiority of various races and junk like that. Total garbage, right? But anyway, there were these ideas about that kind of crap. So, that kind of propagated racism at the time, okay? So, she loves Tom. Tom's not racist, based on what she said, right? Tom's not even close to racist. He doesn't care about her skin color. He doesn't care about her background, like whether she was poor or rich or whatever. He loves her. What he's worried about, I think, is there are a bunch of people, because he's neutral ground where his bar is, or where his tavern is, people coming in, of them, a certain percentage are racist, probably, I guess, is what it sounds like. He's worried that if he gets involved with her, I do agree. I mean, I think it depends on the time of history, though. Because here's the thing. We obviously, in the United States, we obviously had our period of slavery. I don't know that it was everybody, but let's just for approximation, let's say it's not everybody that was in the South. Still, I would estimate it probably was at least 1/3 of all of the United States was against, was racist toward blacks at the time. Because in the South, they were not considered people, or if they were considered inferior people by the people at the time, okay? It's a gross view of things, obviously, but I'm just saying, at that time, there was a large number of people in the United States who were very racist, or at least a little bit racist, okay? You also, a lot of people don't know this, I think it was 1920, around 1920, there were something, I don't remember the exact number, but it was something like, it was multiple millions, with an M, multiple millions of people belonged to the KKK. KKK is a racist organization. So there were millions of Americans who were racist to one degree or another. If you only count that group, not people outside of that group. So racism can be overdone, but it also depends on the time, the history, the place in the world, a lot of that stuff. It depends on how much it was a thing in the various time periods, right? So, it depends. KKK is weird, but that's the thing, is like, a lot of people don't realize that. Around approximately 1920, apparently America was super racist. Like, super racist. Yeah, and very violent. That's right. Yeah. So that's a problem. That's a problem with America's history. We have this problematic history of spikes in racism and then drops, and then spikes and then drops. I'm not saying will keep spiking and dropping, but I'm just saying Well, kinda today, right? Because now you have to a point. I'm not saying everybody is or anything, obviously, like by saying this, but there's a certain degree of racism against whites in America now. Like all whites are evil. They're oppressors. They're colonizers. They're racist against everybody else. They, all this kind of stuff. They will just go around and shoot people. The whole cop narrative, right? All that stuff, right? So there's a certain degree of racism against whites also right now. So my point is not to bring that up. Just the racism is not necessarily overblown. It depends on the time of history, the time in history, and the place in the world at that time. So, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know how it grew that much, but I just know that that's statistically, you can actually read records that show their membership totals. And it was like, I don't remember how many. I want to even say it was as high as 13 million, but I think that's way too high. I think it was probably only 2, maybe 3 million. I mean, compared to like 13 or something. But obviously that's still like let's say it was exactly 2 million. That's exactly 2 million too many people that are racist, right? But that's what it was, unfortunately. Everybody thinks of the Roaring 20s as we just finished World War I. There was the Spanish flu, of course, and then you think of the Roaring 20s and like all that stuff leading up to the Great Depression. A lot of people don't realize that it was really racist at the time. A lot of the blackface you see in movies, like old movies, black and white movies, a lot of the blackface stuff you see from then was stuff done in the 20s. A lot of the suit, like, that people rightfully are outraged against about blackface and stuff. A lot of the stuff from the really old black and white movies, that was, most of that, if not all of that, was done, well, not all of it was, but most of that was done in, like, the 1920s and the 1930s. Yeah, it was, of all the different times to be alive in America, I would not have wanted to be alive in the South prior to the Civil War. I would not want to be alive at all during the Civil War, and I would not want to be alive in certain parts of the country in the 1950s and 60s. Pretty much actually from after this, like anytime after the Civil War through to the late 1960s, I think, actually. Anyway, yeah. He's like, let me do a little tap for you. Yep, that's right. Anyway, so that's all I'm saying is, I think, so all this winding back to the story, sorry. So all this is basically Tom, I think his concern is that if he gets involved with Sabrina, maybe the like kind of gross looks people might give her occasionally might be amplified if he gets involved with her. Now she has to suffer more racist junk from some of the jerks that are in the city. I think that's the reason he doesn't want to, he's a little leery about getting involved with her. It has nothing to do with what he'll suffer. I think he's more worried about what she might suffer as a consequence. So, because you know how that crap goes, right? They say stuff like, like they'll be like, oh, she's fill in the gross term for her or whatever. That's bad enough. But then as soon as that person from another race gets involved, like romantically, with somebody who's like white in this case or whatever, then it's like, how dare they like invade, or however they're looking at it, our race this way, kind of a, garbage attitude, right? That type of crap has happened in the past. So that's what I think he's worried about, is that type of response. Which is understandable, because that shows he actually does love her, because he's being thoughtful about it. Like, crap, I don't want to get her to have to endure a lot more racism than she already does, right? So I can understand that. I think as long as when they close down, if he and Sabrina, after they close the doors or whatever, kind of go up into like one of the rooms that's empty or something, and they can maybe have a drink together or something. They could get romantic if they want to, but they don't have to kind of have that out in the world exposing people to stuff, right? So Oh, well, anyway, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I've met super racist people, and I've been around people not of my race who are super amazing. I've like had kind of the spectrum of people. So I've heard from all the different perspectives, and even if I don't share somebody's perspective and I think it's disgusting, I still understand what they're saying, even though I vehemently disagree with them, right? So I'm not saying that makes it okay. Obviously, I vehemently disagree with them. I'm just saying I understand to a point at least their perspective. I think it's disgusting, but I understand it.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
Oh, nice.
How could
Maybe I can get a
help you
quest.
in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
I feel like there's going to be a boss fight when I go there. Be like, oh, you didn't tell me there was a level 28 werewolf vampire hybrid I had to fight. Thanks.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Yeah. Well, so one final thought on that before we get back. It's just a super short thing. I just thought of it. I wouldn't have brought it up except we were talking about that. I think it was the second girl I ever fell in love with. Well, fell in love. I was super young. I was like junior high. So I had a crush. I didn't actually fall in love with her, but I had a crush. A serious crush. But a crush. Nevertheless. The second girl I ever had a real crush on was actually from India. Well, no, her parents were from India. So she was American born, but her parents were from, I want to say Mumbai. I don't remember for sure. Could have been farther south. Anyway, I don't remember exactly. But anyway, I had a major crush on her. In 7th and 8th grade, I think it was. So, yeah. She didn't give me the time of day, by the way, but I had a major crush anyway. Yeah. English laws. Right, exactly. But remember, Silhouette, he's trying to keep his cover. He's trying to pretend he's still human for the people who don't know about vampires. So he's not going to really go around and go, well, you know I'm immune, so I'll go ahead and get your stuff. It's fine. By the way, I'm a vampire. He's not going to be doing that, right? Yeah, all people are beautiful. So I go down this year. I can't because of COVID. It's been postponed. We're doing a different service, the group that I go with normally. But normally I go down south, just a little, so where the peninsula reach or kind of joins, or where the Baja of Mexico, where that Baja Peninsula attaches to the mainland. There's a port city there that has a little bit of tourism along the shoreline, but you go back and there's like really poor housing if you go back a ways and stuff. So I go down there with a group every year, typically, or every other year, depends. And I will help build houses and stuff for people down there. There are actually a couple of ladies down there. One is at the hotel and one's actually, yeah, she's local. She helps us out sometimes. Anyway, that I find exceedingly attractive. Very, very attractive. They don't speak almost any English, and I speak almost no Spanish, so there's no way anything would ever happen. But I find them extremely attractive, yeah. Oh, she had to leave? Oh. I'm glad she was able to get her passport, though. See, I hate that. Like, it's one thing to notice. Like, I don't think it's racist at all. If you see somebody who stands out, it doesn't have to be skin color. It could be like they wear a bright dress or something, right? Whatever. If somebody stands out, I don't think there's anything wrong with going, oh. And then, you know, and noticing and kind of looking for like a second or whatever and then moving on. But if you like have to keep staring or kind of do the avert your eyes all the time kind of crap, that's gross. Oh, is that why? Oh, because we had been talking about racist stuff, so that's why I was wondering. Oh, okay. That's cool. I mean, hopefully it's... I mean, I would love to be able to do a silly face or something on a passport photo and have it be legit, like be seen not oddly, but I wonder if... or have something that stands out on the passport make him go like, whoa, what? Or whatever, yeah. Anyway.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
I hope something doesn't happen to Sean. I'm really nervous about it now.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Well, that means she's like a temper? See, that's... I don't know if he fills the rooms upstairs. I would think no, right? He probably has some people stay, but he probably doesn't fill them up. Most people probably go back to their homes, right? If he really cares about Sabrina, she should just stay in one of the rooms here. Keep her safe, right? I would think. You're healthy, right? Yeah. Okay.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
Oh, yeah. There's a certain respect when you've been military, especially if you're high-placed military, like high rank. And then also there's the potential for diplomacy or something too, yeah. Yeah, that's always a thing too, obviously.
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like
Is
the
it
gossip,
that
but
again?
I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin.
Oh.
Would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
Oh, jeez. So as a baby, he was abandoned in front of a church in Dublin, and then he also got abused by a priest later? Jeez, dude. And then now he's embraced or turned by a vampire. This guy, I swear, cannot catch a break. No, it's okay. I mean, if people don't understand, the whole idea of a live stream is not that you just rigidly, solidly play the game necessarily the entire time. I mean, I try not to digress too much. So yeah, we should keep going in the story, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think it's understood that there's going to be a certain amount of discussion that veers away from the game as you go.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
I think that's the last thing, right? Yeah, okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, so...
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Is there anybody up here? Probably not. I don't think last time I was up here there was anybody either, but... I don't remember how much I was able to explore up here either. I need opium. Anybody give me opium? 5 shillings is not opium. Last time I checked. Aluminum powder is also not opium. Don't mind me, I'm just stealing from your office, Tom. No big deal, I'm sure you can handle it. And then does this just go behind his desk or something? Oh, this goes to the... No, this is kind of like a storehouse. Or not a storehouse, but a storage room. He's got some sacks and barrels here, too. Okay, so I probably... Let's go... Only one other room? Oh, well, even still, even if he doesn't have like a bedroom or something for people to stay up here, he has his office. He could just pull some curtains or something, and then they could talk there, spend some time together. Should be okay. This is where, what's the name? The head of the Pembroke Hospital was before, I think, right? I talked with him, and Lady Ashbury had been here as well. I talked with him, and yeah, he was using this as an... But see, this has no windows to the outside, so you just close the doors, and then they can stay in here, and there's a bed and everything. So if they do get romantic, I mean, there's, you know, a bed for them to sleep together in, right? Even if they don't get, like, all sexual, they could just, like, cuddle all night or something, right? Anyway. That's the romantic side of me talking. Okay, hoping that something works out with them. You guys need an excuse to spend time together. Seriously. Okay, so there's him again. Who's... Way down there, there's somebody. Who's... Oh, that's Seymour again. Okay. Yeah, you commented about that earlier, Seymour Fishburne. I think it was like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV or something like that. There was Seymour, or maybe it was just a movie that one of the alumni from one of those shows did or something. But it was like Seymour Butts was a joke in America at some point. Oh, hey, there's an older lady here. Can I get to you? How would I do that, I wonder? Maybe I go around. There's Seymour. And then... Oh, hey. I didn't see you before. Hello.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Okay, not to be like I don't even know if this would qualify as that. It wouldn't really, right? But some people might claim it. But not to be ageist or anything like that. But like with the cut, with the shade of his hair, at the angle and stuff from the distance, I thought he was an old guy, not like a teenager or whatever. Okay, anyway.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Just follow. How do you follow a bank to go where the money is? Yeah.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Sillowell, I'm just going to say that I appreciate your last comment. I think it's definitely something we can bank on. Okay, anyway.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Okay, so that was... Oh, that's a branch within, right? So I have one more.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Oh, do you want a bob? I'll give you some money. I've got like 400-something shillings.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
Oh. He's got some kind of variant of ADD or something? Or ADHD or any of those type of things?
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
I might be able to. Oh.
What do you do around here?
Oh, no, that was the last of that. Hang on. Okay, give me a second, Monmouth. Oh, I can probably talk to him again. Hang on, let's do this.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Okay, let's see if I can audio. Oh, so voice is at 10, but I can lower the others. So in contrast, what if I do like that? Sound effects. That. So if they're speaking during a fight, maybe. Cinematic will leave up because of that. Okay, let me know if that seems to be better. No, it's fine. I can just get out of the dialogue and get back. He's right by me, so as soon as I get out of this menu, I can just talk to him again, right? So I don't think it's a big deal. But I think that probably improves things now. So let me know. So that's the plan. So master, all sounds all together, maximum whatever they can do. Okay. Then voice specifically will be at 10. Music will be down to this level, 4 now. Sound effects will be halfway between music and voice. So if there's a fight, but there's talking, maybe you can hear the voice louder. And then in cinematics, because it has voice as well, then you have that as well. I don't know if there's much more. Let me try this also. I just don't want it to be too loud, but I could try upping this a little bit. Let's see. What if I go... maybe there? Okay. Let me know if that improves things. I upped the total amount of volume that the game will broadcast into the stream. So let me know if that works out. Hopefully that'll be an improvement. Whoop.
Evening, Rufus.
Okay.
Evening, Mr. Reid.
I thought I had a cutscene or something for a second. I was like, wait, but it was just that I had gone into conversation with him again. Okay.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
Dude. Tragic, we're all alone. Should be careful. See, that's... I'm not there. I'm still working on it. Obviously, I have entrepreneurial ventures on the side. In addition to my normal day job, and then doing YouTube on the weekends and stuff. So I'm trying to get somewhere eventually where I will be, or I'm not trying. I'm going to eventually get somewhere where I'll be financially completely independent. Not just that, but I mean, I won't have to do a day job and stuff. I'll earn money through my own other stuff I'm doing. Anyway, my point in saying all that is one of the biggest causes I eventually want to do as much as possible is in homeless work, especially for the vulnerable. So the homeless who maybe suffer a mental illness or who have physical disability or something. and then also like kids, women who might be vulnerable in, because like a lone woman out on the street probably is not terribly safe, unfortunately, right? So that kind of thing. I want to do what I can to help the homeless get the help they can, both if it's psychological help or something or whatever, then try to get them that help. But also for those who don't need that, or who get the help they need psychologically, get stable, and then are in a position to do so, I want to try to get them into houses or jobs or whatever it is that they need. I'll like have people I work with that I also myself want to personally talk to some of them to like help out, do the same kind of thing, interview them, find out what it is they want, and then try to find a route to get them to what they want. I really want to do that badly. Like, that's part of why I do things like go down and build houses in Mexico and stuff. That's that whole idea of trying to help people not be homeless anymore. It would be exhausting. It is going to be exhausting. But what better way to burn yourself out mentally, physically, and everything else than to try to help other people? I honestly don't think so. I disagree. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I have a different opinion. I don't think the government's job is to help people get in houses. I think that should be the job of charitable organizations of various kinds. That might be a church. It might be just an agnostic or whatever organization, like a soup kitchen or something. I think those kinds of organizations, because they're on a volunteer basis, and both for the people working at them, but then also the funds coming in, I think those are really, because the government is going to be apathetic about it. They're just going to go, here's some money, do what you want. The government has proven it sucks at managing money, right? I would prefer having people who are invested personally in helping other people. You learn to care about the people. So then you learn to care about managing the money and stuff too, because you want everything you can, resource-wise, to go to those people who need the help, right? I mean, unless you're a, soulless prick, pardon my French, but otherwise, you want everything you can that comes in for that organization to go to the people that need help. So I'm really passionate about that. That's one of my visions in the future, is I want to be in such a financial position that I can still take care of myself and my family and stuff, and I can still have enough money that I don't have to work a day job and stuff, but I can contribute large sums of money to helping create or support organizations that do this kind of stuff. Yeah, and I don't really want to get into a big debate about whether the government does or not. I feel like, and that's the other thing too, is I believe that the government is supposed to do what the people as a whole, or the majority of the people want it to do. So if the majority of the people want the government to take care of people, then that does become the government's job. It just depends on what the people want. I may not want the government to do that. I may want that to come from people who are more personally connected to it so that they get better care. But that's my perspective. It doesn't have to be somebody else's. And if 51% of America says these should be government sponsored programs, then that's what the government should do, because it should be the will of the people, in my view. So, yeah, Salvation Army, Red Cross. I don't have a problem with these groups, whether they're religiously based or not. And like you mentioned soup kitchens. Yeah, I can't now because of COVID and stuff. I mean, I could. I think technically maybe, but I don't know how things have changed with COVID. But I love to go, I would love to go to a soup kitchen, talk to people who are struggling, learn about their struggles, make sure they get a good square meal. Yeah. That's it's not the only thing, but that's part of what's driving me with the extra work that I'm trying to do. Where I'm effectively working 2.5 jobs right now. I'm not actually, but I'm effectively, with the amount of work I'm doing and stuff, I'm effectively doing about 2.5 jobs right now, trying to get a lot of this stuff like lay the groundwork and get things set up so I can help more people. It's a slow going thing, but I am making headway. It's just slow to get there. Yeah. Well, not like I said, my view is honestly the government should do whatever the will of the people is. So if most people want the government to do those programs, then I think they should. I think traditionally, religion or other charities have done a really great job of filling that need. But if people are becoming more closed off from other people or less religious or whatever, so there's not that much charity coming that way, I do want to see that continue, even if it ends up being like government filling in the gaps or something. Oh, amazing. As long as, I mean, yeah, obviously I would want her to be careful, but that's amazing. Yeah, that would be really cool. See, I would love to do that kind of thing. I never try to go, like, volunteer for, like where there's been a flood or an earthquake or something, primarily because I'm not trained in emergency services, so I don't want to get in the way. But I contribute money to help support the people that go, but I don't want to be sitting there and getting in people's way all the time. I would hate to feel like, or I would hate to learn that I had delayed somebody and literally seconds made all the difference in the world and somebody died because I did something stupid. Like if I did something totally asinine, I would not want to find out that resulted in a death. So I don't want to get mixed up in that when I've not been trained that way, right? So yeah, that's exactly. I don't know if I would quite say I'm addicted, but it's getting to the point where I'm almost addicted to helping out charities. Yeah. Whether it's financially or physically, depending on what need I can fill. Sometimes both. Sometimes I'll contribute money and I'll also be boots on the ground. Just depends on what it is, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so he is orphaned. I'm guessing he doesn't want pity. I feel like this is more of a pity response. This is almost a callous response. I think this is the more caring one, right? Hoping he's careful, and then maybe if it comes up in the conversation saying something about how you'll try to look out for him or check up on him or something when you come by. I think this is maybe the best response. I don't know, but I'm guessing.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. And she's the one that I saw in this area that I just had not had a chance quite to get to yet. That's cool. So she seems like a nice lady. She looks, from the picture, it looks like she's a little bit older. Hopefully she's not going to get hurt at some point in the story. That's awesome, Somni. Yeah, you should definitely get back into it if you can make time for it. I definitely think you should. I mean, I don't know. I would encourage everybody to get involved in something charitable. However you do that, however you see that happening for yourself, that's up to you. But I really think everybody should try to get involved in something. Yeah, he can be a pickpocket. It's true. Yeah. I mean, that's, although there are laws and stuff, I'm kind of the whole, like in Les Miserables or Oliver Twist or something, like I'm kind of in the whole camp of, if you need it to survive, man, I'm not gonna chop your hands off or something because you need it to survive. Like if somebody stole from me and I tracked them down or something, somehow they were found, and there's like, do you want to prosecute, blah, 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 blah. If I knew legitimately that they needed it or somebody wouldn't get medicine or something like that, keep the money. I don't care if it's $1,000. Keep the money. It's fine. Honestly, you need it clearly more than I do. Keep the money, please. So, okay. So, was that under personal? Yeah. Okay. So this one, even
Do you
though
know
I
a man
know
who lives in this part of town, a man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
Yeah, Tom Watts. We already talked to him. You have anemia. Guess what I can give you, buddy?
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
It's because you are a real person, damn it. Here.
A real
Have
doctor
some
treats
medicine.
everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem, bro. Get well. Good luck to you, man.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
All right, and then what's her name that takes care of him? Oh, maybe I have to go inside here? Yeah, she looks like she's cleaning a table or something through the window.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reid. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
Apparently I'm going to force my way in. Okay, we'll see how this goes.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
At least I'm a good vampire in this.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry.
Silwell. You're a jerk. Just kidding. Suppose I probably ought not to try to steal stuff from her. Role-playing wise, that would not be
Eyes in the back
kind.
of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets in these parts. So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
She is healthy. Okay, good.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
I've contributed a little bit to like Project Smile or whatever, where they help kids, especially in Southeast Asia, who have problems with cleft lips and stuff, get operations so that they don't have to deal with speech impediments and stuff. I've contributed some to that, some with breast cancer research and stuff. Just depends on, what I remember to contribute toward and what I've got money to and all that kind of stuff. That's the thing, is I'm trying to get to a certain point, so I have to kind of watch how much I give to charity now so that I'll be in a position to give a lot more to charity later. So it's kind of hard. I give some. I don't give nearly as much as I could because I have to wait until later to give more. Yeah. Yeah, Silueli's got a cool hat. Come on, man.
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
Yeah, I actually struggle a bit not to tear up in games like this, where we were talking with the boy, the teenager, or like in Beyond Two Souls, when she was on her own on the streets in the cold winter. Yeah, I struggle when games or movies or whatever show that stuff. It's kind of a thing that's kind of close to me, so I struggle with that a little bit.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum in exchange for food.
Not by Hampton. Don't go near Hampton.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Oh, that had to be hard to see.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Those are all hint locked. Okay. You are healthy, so I'll let you go. Okay.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
Oh, I thought they were calling that the asylum. So is the asylum actually like a psychological asylum or psychiatric asylum? Rather than I thought they were just saying asylum as like a place of safety because it sounded like Hampton worked there to distribute food or something. Oh, maybe not.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
I'm not sure the epidemic is what
She's
worries
got-
people most these days.
This is kind of a nice place. It's like she's reading the good book, as they call it, the Bible, right? I don't know. The thing is, role-playing wise, I wouldn't take these, but I need opium. Okay. I'm gonna take stuff, sorry. We'll pretend that I'm not actually looting her stuff. I freaking need opium to make more cures. I can't help people if I don't have opium. Well, depends. I can't help them if I don't have opium and they happen to need opium, right? So far, unfortunately, though, I've not found any opium. I should have just left it all. Crap. Can I drop stuff here? I took all this stuff from your cupboards. I didn't need it, so I'm gonna go now. Okay.
Good sleep. I've been nothing.
It's
but
locked,
worry.
all right.
Locked. That's fine. I'm not gonna try to pick the lock or anything. I don't think I know pick lock anyway, but. Yeah, but he died long before we were a vampire, so it's not. It's not quite. Okay. Where is... I think I'm just going to go back to the... We're just going to go back here for now, because that's going to be time. So... All right. Oh. This is a weird menu system. Okay, so I actually have to go back here and then, okay, and then quit. Here we go. Anyway. Figure it out at some point. However it is that happens, we will eventually figure it out. Oh my goodness, leg. All right. Thanks for joining me this evening. Yep, we're going to go ahead and call it for this evening. So thanks for joining me. Tomorrow night we'll play the Council some more. Maybe finish it. I don't know how much is left. We're in the 5th episode. Don't know how many chapters or sections or whatever the episode we still have to go, though. So we'll see, I guess, what that ends up being. So I appreciate you guys joining me on the stream tonight, though. So we'll do that tomorrow, and then Sunday will be more of the Book of Unwritten Tales Critter Chronicles. And I'm going to continue trying to do a better job of kind of adding descriptions and editing and stuff. The streams I've done. Hopefully I'll have more normal uploaded content soon as well. Sorry for the delay. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Peace.
Poor Spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.